All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to show you a demonstration of our well. I've tried to describe this with a few folks on the phone. And thank you, Rob, for capturing the video, by the way, full disclosure. This is going to be on a Ragin Cajun #1 joint venture. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain to you how we drilled the well, what happened, what we found, everything else like that, because we're going to begin our frac on Monday. So here's what we were doing. We drilled our pilot hole, we logged it, we found out where the conglomerate of our zone was, which is right here. So after doing a little calculus, our kickoff point, or KOP, was right there. So when we came out of the hole, we came back down, kicked off, so that right there, we were in a perfect spot. Okay, we come out here like this, and all of a sudden the formation gets away from us. What happened was the formation goes like this. And that's not necessarily exact, but it's a good demonstration of what we're doing. So, or how the formation works. Typically, the Marble Falls formations, they're pretty flat. And what we're looking for is something like this, to where our oil, gas, water comes down here at about, this is, what we're looking for is about a 3 to 6 degrees angle. So this comes back this way, goes up our well bore, and we're good to go. The only way to unequivocally find that really is with seismic. That is absolutely something we're going to do on the Ragin Cajun #2. So keep in mind, this well is offsetting a well that the last information I had on it was making about 40 barrels of oil equivalent per day. Our Alexander Omega 2, which is also another horizontal well, is offsetting a well that's making 5 barrels of oil equivalent per day. And so, be that as it may, we still should have a much better well than the Alexander Omega 2, and it should still be pretty good. However, here's what happened. We're cruising along like this. All of a sudden we miss a zone, and we shift up like this. We find it. So we think it goes like this at that point. And so we're going like this, and all of a sudden it's gone. So then we come down here, we find it, and as you can see, we're out of room. Here's the lease line. So, did we drill out there as far as we wanted? Yes, we did, but unfortunately, everything from here is no good. So, what we have is 620 feet, which isn't bad, guys, because honestly, you'll see a well that was in an article. Now, granted, it could or could not be an anomaly, but the data set is not big enough to necessarily know. But, there was a well that was drilled out here, Joey, with less than 600 feet that made how much? 700 barrels?
It came online about 900 barrels a day.
Yeah, barrels of oil equivalent per day, which is unbelievable. So, again, it's going to be a couple of weeks before we find out what the capability of this well is. So, as I was telling a gentleman yesterday that's in the Ragin Cajun #1 joint venture, I said, look, a couple of things I'm happy about is, A, we're offsetting a nice vertical well that's making approximately 40 barrels of oil equivalent per day. B, the conglomerate that we got is really good. C, on the last well that we drilled, tested, and completed that was horizontal, we went ahead and shot the whole thing despite some undulations in the reservoir. It's going to help us that we're just shooting this. So, albeit our goal is to get out to up to 4,000 feet, we got out there, I think a little over 3,000 feet. So we did the job. In fact, the well cost us a lot more than the Alexander Omega #2 did, and we were way over budget. You don't have to worry about cost overrun. So we did the work, but the problem is that this Marble Falls reservoir did some cattywampus maneuvering once we got out here to right here. So we've got excellent conditions right here, which is what we're going to frac. We've already perforated it. Here's the toe or the foot of the well right here. So this will be blocked off. We'll stage it. It'll either be 2 or 3 stages. We'll frac it. All that frac fluid come up here to the top. We have oil goes one way, salt water goes another way, and the gas goes down the sales line. Okay? This is going to happen once we recover all the frac fluid and maybe a little bit of a hybrid of both. But I wanted to make sure everybody understood what was going on, and make no mistake about it, and I'll put this down for the record. I mean, I'm shuffling a lot of my own funds around for the next project, and I'm going to tell you why, and this is not to convince you to do the next one, although it'd be crazy not to, given the fact that we've got all of the data now that we need to be able to do what we're trying to do the whole time. We're going to wind up buying seismic on multiple locations until we find exactly what we're looking for, so that we can get this right here. This right here is what we want. So just conventional wisdom would tell you that if you've got, 3 to 4,000 feet of good Marble Falls reservoir, you should be at about 5, 6 to 7 times whatever this well produces. Again, there's a well out here with similar data that made roughly 900 barrels of oil equivalent per day. In my opinion, I think that is one fat anomaly. But I still think that we can get a pretty good well here. We're about to find out. So again, it's going to be a couple of weeks before we find out. I hope this was a good demonstration for you guys to understand what was going on. We won't even punch a hole in the ground until the seismic dictates that this is what we have on the next well. Here's what we know about seismic. Seismic tells us where subsurface features are, because we know that fluids migrate to the highest point subsurface under pressure, but it doesn't tell you where hydrocarbons are. Here's the good news. In the Marble Falls Reservoir, we know that hydrocarbons are ubiquitous in this area. No matter where you drill a Marble Falls well, you're going to make a well. We've seen that time and time again. It doesn't mean it's going to be a great well, but you will make a well. So knowing that, if the seismic data comes back and gives us the data that we're looking for right here, we'll be in prime time shape. Still doesn't mean that this can't be a great well. I'm just giving you the good characteristics and the bad characteristics about what we're dealing with at this point in time. So I hope that video really helped everyone understand what's happening out here, and the next well we drill should be unbelievable, or at least as good as it's going to get for a well like this that we're going to drill out here. So hopefully we have a good well here, and hopefully the next well we drill is 4, 5, 6, 7 times the production of this one. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you can make a well that can completely change your oil and gas portfolio. So hope that was helpful. Again, that is an update for the Ragin Cajun #1.